Hello and welcome into Pat's Latest. I'm your host, Mike Gambardella, and minicamp is officially wrapped for your New England Patriots. The Tom Brady statue gets an official release date, a surprise position switch, and what to look out for some of the skill positions coming for your Patriots in 2025. Before we get into everything, make sure you go down and subscribe for the channel. Get in the comments and let us know what you think about the potential Tom Brady statue, what it might look like, and what if you're going to be at the unveiling. Also, what is going on with the position groups. Let us know what you think and who should be the starters for those position groups, as we said. And make sure, if you like what you hear, you give us a like and go back and check out all the other episodes after this one so you can get caught up on everything going on in Foxborough. We start right there in Foxborough as Robert Kraft will unveil a statue, and probably a very large one, for the greatest player in NFL history. Yes, the GOAT himself, Tom Brady, will indeed be getting a statue outside of Gillette Stadium. The Patriots' social media accounts on X revealing that on August 8th, prior to the Patriots' preseason game versus the Commanders, the quote unquote legacy will be etched in bronze forever. Tom Brady will receive his statue outside of Gillette. It's taken 6 years since he left, but only a few since he officially retired. And some would say past due at this point. Others, it is a little quick. But I think when you've won 6 Super Bowls for a franchise, it goes without saying that a statue will be put out there for you. We've seen many other players who haven't even won championships, but have meant enough to their franchise to be able to be commemorated in such a way. And for a guy who means so much to so many people, and obviously put the back of this franchise, put this franchise on his back. Absolutely deserving of it. I think for me, it is still a little surreal that we're already at this point. We've seen some clips come across of his Hall of Fame induction ceremony for the New England Patriots, which still just seemed too soon. And you think back, yeah, you're going all the way back to 2000 and 25 years ago. But I think it is a little bit with Tom, fighting Father Time, looking young, probably could still play the position at a very high level. I mean, it's surreal in itself to think that, the Patriots had this dynasty and winning 6 Super Bowls and constantly an AFC championship game and AFC East champions. And while it has been 5 years since the Patriots have consistently been there, and it's been some tough times, it is surreal still to see him not be on the sidelines, not being the quarterback. But I think as the Patriots progress now with a new head coach with Mike Vrabel, with Drake May now in the fold and taking the reins and being, you should say, being given that opportunity to really run with it, the first true quarterback. You had Cam Newton at the end of his career. You passed it on to Mac Jones, who was okay for a year, but really just couldn't do it after that. And now finally getting to Drake May and letting him make his own path and having the legacy in front of him. And Will Campbell, I think, said it too. He wanted to come to a place that had great history. The Patriots have absolutely that. And now it's a young cohort looking to live up to that legacy. There will be a new starter, and there will be probably half the new starters for the Patriots across the offense and defense. And I think a bit of a trickle down effect from a retiree that we just ran over in our last episode, as Wes Schweitzer announced that he is hanging them up. And it goes kind of hand in hand. He was a starter at the start of OTAs. Cole Strange has kind of taken over that spot. I think Schweitzer saw a little bit of the writing on the wall, but also, it's not easy playing in the NFL, especially as you get up there in age. But another revelation from the end of minicamp here is that Penn State third rounder from 2024, Caden Wallace, is actually taking reps at left guard. And now he was actually seen as a potential solution at left tackle a year ago. getting time at right tackle as well, and being projected to be that swing tackle for both spots and kind of a top reserve. Now, coming out of the NFL draft, there were certain scouts that viewed Wallace as a potential tackle to guard switch at the NFL level, so this isn't completely out of the realm of possibility. And with a guy with a third round pedigree and, substantial size, and one that Mike Vrabel called out by name and forced to come up on the first day of introductions as Mike Vrabel was addressing the team. It seems to be a little bit of a rapport there, and I think sets up a strong competition and opportunity for all of these linemen. I think, again, you have at least three spots locked in with your two tackles: Will Campbell at left tackle, Morgan Moses at right, Mike Lewino at right guard. James Bradbury looks to be the center if Jared Wilson, the rookie from Georgia, third rounder, is going to be the backup there, but also could potentially be in that third left guard competition as well, putting three players there. Also, I think undrafted rookie Jack Conley for me is somebody, has the size at 6'7", could potentially fight his way at least into a roster spot, if not a starting spot. What this also does mean is that some familiar names like C.D. Sal, Layden Robinson, and Tyrese Robinson, who have all either previously made starts or been in the mix to do so, seem to be lagging a bit behind. And I think just as we look at this depth chart, how it starts to be built out, you can start to project what is going to happen by the time we get to late July, July 23rd, when the Patriots are in training camp. Who is going to be that starter, who's fighting for spots, and what this final 53-man roster really starts to look like. Additionally, there was a lot of conversation around what certain position groups, especially at skill position groups in Josh McDaniels' new offense, and Pop Douglas, who was the top returning wide receiver for the Patriots from last year, how he fits into McDaniel's scheme, and did it make sense, and is it the proper fit for him? Does he have the skill set for it? I think Patriots reporter Evan Lazar used the term scuttlebutt, and it's a discussion point, and I think fairly rightly, maybe fairly so, especially with Stephon Diggs and Mac Hollins and now Kyle Williams coming in as well. If we learn anything from minicamp and OTAs, Pop Douglas is potentially in for a featured role in this offense, and I think he's somebody that can play inside or out. I think he can be in that move situation. We know McDaniel's offense really focuses on that slot wide receiver, and that's exactly what Pop Douglas is. He is at home in that spot. He likes to work from it, and we've seen previously that that's where the money is for Josh McDaniels, whether it be Jacoby Myers, whether it be Wes Welker, whether it be Julian Edelman. The offense seems to feed that spot, and that is a place that Pop Douglas could absolutely eat. He has been Drake May's favorite wide receiver through those last two practices, and yes, the caveat is Diggs is not there yet, but right now it is Pop Douglas that he seemed to be searching out. And yes, he likes Hunter Henry, but those wide receivers have to be very involved as well. And with Kyle Williams starting to stretch the field, does that leave the underneath open for Pop Douglas too? So don't let some of that early traction concern push you away from what Pop Douglas could mean to this offense. There has been a ton of talk about undrafted free agent Efton Chisholm, the rookie out of Eastern Washington, who broke all of Cooper Kupp's records, and again, I think could absolutely fight for a spot on this roster, and I think for me will end up making the 53-man roster. But that's to make a roster. That is not to say he's going to be a starter. He's going to leapfrog Pop Douglas. Still understand that Pop Douglas is going to be a focal point for this offense moving forward. Additionally, a focal point for Josh McDaniels will be the backfield and how much of importance it is to take the pressure off of Drake May. If you have to go out and throw 50 times a game, that's not usually a recipe for success. But if you can get your backfield involved, that you can institute play action, if you can get the defense climbing up in the box, suddenly that opens up a lot more for you. And something of note was that there was some different formations coming through for Josh McDaniels. And now this could be something from a time away, a year away from football, what he worked on, what he thought of, how he saw about spacing on the field, and being able to set up things for his quarterback or getting his running backs into space as well. He had his quote unquote speed backs, and that would be Travion Henderson and Antonio Gibson, actually on the field with Ramondre Stevenson at the same time. Now, again, keeps the defenses honest, keeps them guessing. Where is the Patriots going to attack you from? If with two running backs on the field, is it an obvious running play? And if so, is that a time to actually throw in a throwing play? I think look for more of these wrinkles as you go. I think we've seen it a lot before, whether it was Julian Edelman throwing passes, whether it was Danny Amendola throwing passes, having guys that are able to do things differently. Now, we know Kyle Williams was a quarterback in high school. So there are ways to work around this, but I think also McDaniels is smart enough to know that other teams are going to look out for it and be like, hey, make sure we watch this. And they did the same thing back in 2015, 16, 17, etc. And you still found the right spot and time to do it. There's a chance now that McDaniels is saying, well, now let's put multiple running backs out there. Let's see if we can do some end arounds or start to get wheel routes in or put people in space or move things around or potentially even get, Drake May on a bootleg. There are so many different things you can do. And with this backfield breakdown and being able to get guys in certain spots, suddenly there could be more of this playbook that opens up and potentially even more things that we haven't even seen before. Additionally, a look at the backfield is within these new wrinkles for McDaniels. It's a little surprising that we have heard less from Lan Larison, again, another undrafted free agent out of UC Davis who had an impressive career and just lighted up the highlight reel across the social media accounts. But it looks like Henderson, Gibson, and Stevenson are really starting to hone in on being the focal points of this offense. There was some scuttlebutt even from me that with the development of Henderson and potentially with Larison, somebody like Antonio Gibson could be expendable. The way that they decided and have been using him at minicamp shows that they see a three-headed monster, and you want to push forward with that. And if you want to say number 4, actually look to the fullback position that Josh McDaniels absolutely will want to bring back and incorporate into his offense, and that would be Brock Lampy. Now, if you type in his name on X or social media accounts, you'll immediately notice the guy is absolutely yoked. He is designed to be a fullback. He has the shades of, not quite, we'll say, Peyton Hillis or Mike Allstott, guys that, were true running backs, but look for the bruisers, the guys that absolutely want to come in there and put their heads down and clear holes and open up those pathways for the running backs behind them. So, again, if you're charting your 53-man, look for the opportunities, especially when you get to that 53, 52, 51, guys that can win situationally and allow the Patriots to open up that playbook. And usually it's those two things, the situational players and those that can contribute on special teams. If you're able to do both, you could almost near guarantee your spot on this lineup. That'll do it for us here on this episode of Pat's Latest. Again, make sure you go down and subscribe for the channel to make sure you get everything going on in Foxborough into your inbox. Make sure you go down into the comments and let us know what you think about the offensive line, the wide receivers, and the running backs for the Patriots as currently constructed. And if you were going to be there for when Tom Brady's statue is unveiled for the preseason matchup against the Commanders on August 8th. Make sure you do give us a like after this one and go back and check out all of our other episodes so you can find out about everything you need to know about your Patriots. Clearly, we all need a coffee right now. Go get one, come back, check everything else out, and we'll continue to have everything here for you on Pat's Latest. Fight on, Foxborough.